I let go of my fear. I let go of this deep fear because I've been so disappointed in my life.
Alright, hello Fresh Fam.
What's going on, Fresh Fam?
We decided for this video we just wanted to do like more of a fresh talk instead of a vlog because it's been a really challenging week for both of us, and we're both not really feeling the best either. We're under the weather, sick, and so especially him.
As you can tell, I guess, maybe.
Not as lively as we usually are.
Mm.
But maybe you can start off and explain what happened.
She still knows how to make me laugh, even when I'm just sick or tired or anything. This girl always knows how to make me laugh. Yeah, I guess start with Friday. I was hanging out with one of our youth because for some of you guys who don't know, we're youth directors at Riverside Community Church, and hanging out with one of the youth on Friday afternoon, and started to feel really off. I was starting to feel feverish and chills and getting a little sweaty, and I was just, something didn't feel right, and I was feeling a lot of discomfort in my lower, how do I put it without being too much detail, let's just say in the guy area,
the groin area.
The groin area. I was
lower abdomen. I don't know.
Groin. Let's just say the groin. I was feeling some discomfort, and it was getting worse and worse, and it didn't make sense. So when I drove home to my beautiful wife, that's when I drove to you, and I said something's not right. I wasn't feeling right. I wasn't feeling myself. And we were supposed to go that night to Mission, a city about an hour away from where we live, to hang out with our youth and a bunch of other youth groups and to speak. So we still decided to go, even though I knew I was feeling really sick. And I went, and I felt like, because God had this message for me for these youth, and I still went to speak. And that was good, but I was still getting more sick, and it wasn't... I don't know.
Yeah, so we had to, I'm like such a worrier, so like I felt like we needed to go to the hospital right away to get it checked out. And so we decided to go to the big youth group event first, and then we left early and we went to the hospital. And we just, we're trusting God, like we didn't know what was going on, and I was really confused. And during the week he just had like a really down, he was just feeling like really down, and there's a lot going on. One of his friends passed away, and there was just like a lot of personal challenges as well that he was dealing with, that I feel like God was really just working on his heart during the week. So it was just one of those weeks that was just really rough, and so this was kind of like the cherry on top, where we had to take him to the hospital, but and they did a bunch of tests. We had to go to a couple hospitals for the tests, and they did a few tests on him, and thankfully it was nothing serious. But I think it was just like a time where we both had to rely on God. And I don't know if maybe you guys have probably experienced a time in your life where everything's just going wrong and you're just like feeling so down. But I feel like those are the times where God speaks to us the most, and like he's really the closest to us in those moments. We might not feel like he's there, but he is, and he just wants us to just run to him and not to anything else. Like he doesn't want us to run to drugs or alcohol or like Netflix or even like our friends. Like he wants us to go to him first and to depend on him, and that's when he'll speak and he'll heal you. I really believe that he will heal you. And That's what happened with Mandela. He was running to God, even though it was really hard for him to trust God in these moments when, you know, you don't understand, like, all of a sudden, why did this happen? Like, how could someone so young pass away, or whatever the situation is. But that's what he did. He was holding on to God. And even though he looks so sad right now, like, it's because he's not feeling well, because he actually is feeling so much joy and freedom, because I really believe that God spoke to him and has healed him, and there's been a breakthrough in his life in a bunch of different areas. So
yeah, she said it perfectly. I don't even think I need to say anymore. But just to add on to what my beautiful wife was saying, the friend that passed, was it on, I can't remember now, it was Wednesday, or this week has been kind of crazy, so it's kind of, but I woke up having a hard time to go to work. I was feeling really depressed because I was holding on to a big fear. We're both youth directors, and I know that I'm meant to be a pastor, and that's what we do. We pastor these young people, these youth, and but I've seen a lot of disappointment in my life with pastors, and even though we're in this great space where we are around people who love us and who we love with all our hearts, I was still having a hard time accepting this career, this plan, this call that God has for my life to be a pastor, because I was hurt so much. And so that's why I was home during the week that day, heavy and depressed, and just, it was really hard. It was something I was keeping from a lot of people. My wife has been praying for me about it. It was tough, but that was the day I got the news that a dear friend, who's more than a friend, he is family to us too, had died early in the morning. And I'm like, man, you know, bad news never has good timing. we always hear that, and it's true. So that was really hard. It added on to that. But on the Friday, that same day, before I met with that youth, I was telling you guys, before I started feeling sick, God spoke to me, and he made it really clear that all that you've seen, every disappointment, every struggle, every fear, every worry about, oh, I don't want to disappoint you, God. I don't want to fail like all these other guys in my life who failed, and maybe I don't want to do this thing. But God made it clear. He's like, no, this is what I have for you, and don't you look at other people's mistakes and make it your own, but trust me that even when you feel so weak, I'm going to be your strength. I'm going to be there for you no matter what. And it gave me the greatest peace, guys. It was the greatest breakthrough, like my wife said. It was like the final straw that I was holding on to and letting go of my past and struggles. And that was not easy, but I felt so free, and I felt so good and so alive. And then all of a sudden this infection that I've been fighting just came out of nowhere. But that's the crazy thing. Even though I've been feeling sick, I have so much joy in my heart. I have so much peace because I've never felt more free. I let go of my fear. I let go of this deep fear because I've been so disappointed in my life. And I finally come to learn that God loves me so much that, you know, other people's choices do not define my life. Other people's choices do not define what my life will look like. No, when God spoke to me and he made it clear that, hey, Mandela, you're meant to be a pastor, and you're meant to love people, and you're meant to point them to me. I know that from the bottom of my heart, that's what I'm meant to do. And that's what I love so much, is to see other people find freedom from depression, from anxiety and pain. And God took me out of depression. God took me out of this fear. God took me out of pain. And He's given me this amazing woman to be by my side through every struggle. So even though right now I'm feeling not myself and then battling this infection, I thank God because I went into that room with the doctors knowing that nothing serious will happen, because that's what God said to me. He promised that to me. He said, don't you worry. And that was the truth. The results came good, guys. There's no serious disease. There's no cancer. There's none of that stuff that you need to fear. He said, I take your fear. I got you. And so now I just got to deal with the infection and give it a couple of days. But I have the greatest peace and comfort in my heart, because I know that God is good. And I know there's so many of you guys who are watching who are going through fear, depression, anxiety, right? Like this.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to those people who are going through that, like fear and anxiety and depression? What would you say to them after what you've been through?
And I would tell you guys, run to the heart of God. What I mean by that is, I've realized that there's nothing else, because I've tried everything. Like my wife, I've tried alcohol in the past. I've tried drugs in the past. I've tried comforts of every kind. And I know a lot of people watching are using every kind of comfort to deal with the fear, anxiety, and peace. But when I wrestled with God, what I mean is, like, when I got alone and just cried out to God, and I didn't give up. This has been weeks of wrestling. This has been months. This is not just overnight, but I kept going back and saying, God, if you said this, I choose to believe it. And God always comes through. And because I opened my heart to Jesus, that's where the real freedom came. And trusting Him, and just be able to say, I don't have to be strong enough. You don't have to be strong enough. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have it all put together, because God gives you the strength you need to deal with it. He gives you the peace. He gives you the confidence to know that He will get you through everything that you are so worried about, you are so hurting. And
And I think even if you don't believe in Jesus or don't know if God is real or not, I think that we challenge you to really just talk to God. I think that people go through a lot of pain and heartache, and they turn to a lot of different things, but those things only fill us temporarily, and they only satisfy us for a little bit of time, and then we go back to it, or we try something new, and it's like you can never find that fulfillment that you're looking for. It's like this void that is just there and won't get filled. But honestly, for us, like, Jesus fills that void for us, and I just encourage you to just try praying or like talking to God, and see for yourself, like, that He is real, and He does care for you, and He loves you, and He'll answer your prayer when you genuinely seek Him. You will find Him. So
good. That's so good. And like, I love what my wife said. You guys, it's okay. Go to God. Be real. God's not afraid of your doubts. He's not afraid of your challenges. He's not afraid of your questions and your anger. Just be real and wrestle with God. Mean challenge, push it. Say, God, you said this, where you don't, but just don't stop. Trust. And God always comes through, guys. I've realized in my life, God always comes through. And the peace that comes, that's why your body can feel sick. You could be going through hardships in your life, but you got this peace, this inner peace and this joy that nobody can take away. You don't have to stay in a depression. You don't have to stay in fear. You don't have to stay in anxiety, because you got somebody that is always going to be with you. So we just wanted to share that with you guys. Hope it was encouraging for you. We definitely are encouraged going into a new week, and I just pray the same for you guys, and we will see you in our next vlog. Please like and subscribe,
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
And keep us in prayer too.